Hey, we are here. We are doing another episode of Ask Wholesale. This is the episode that you want to watch, episode 8. We're answering some great questions. One of them is how do you compete in today's market? We're going to talk about, what were some of the other things to talk about?
Increasing your wholesale fees, how to do it.
That's right. And then at the end, we're going to talk about you had something to throw in there?
Yeah, then we're talking about how to create a buyer's list.
Buyer's list.
Also creating a buyer's
A
list.
killer buyer's list. And at the end, we're going to wrap up with a book that all three of us read that got us started on our real estate journey.
Change our lives.
So look out, episode 8. Welcome, episode 8 of the Ask Wholesale show. You made it. You are
We
here.
have made it to episode 8. That's saying something.
Almost double digits.
Almost double digits.
Getting
Almost.
there, getting there. So we're going to go into it. We have 3 real estate questions and 1 fun question. So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do that. I guess I'll read the questions.
That's your cue, man.
Oh, that's my cue.
That's your cue.
That's my cue. Still don't know what to do with my
Yeah,
hands.
by
since
double
episode
digits.
one.
That's why I brought a cup.
Yeah, we'll get it by double
I
digits.
brought a cup so I can kind
There's nothing in there.
of. I know.
It's
So
your prop.
yeah, it's
My
a prop. Okay, so the first question here is, where do you? Oh, that one has something in
There we
there.
go.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
So the first question is, where do you find these properties at the right price?
Who wants to go into that?
I can actually. I was actually thinking about that when I saw it. The truth is, it's very rare that they'll come in at the right price. Your lead generation can be anything from bandit signs to eviction leads to other wholesalers to bird dogs. It's very rare that these properties are going to come in at the right price. I think I can name maybe 3, 4 properties in the past 2.5, 3 years that have been wholesaling that came in at the right price. But the reality is you have to get them at the right price. It doesn't matter where they're at. You have to negotiate them to the right price as long as the numbers add up. So if you're in a lower income area and you know that the retail value of a 3.2 is $100,000, you know you probably need to be somewhere in the $45,000 to $50,000 range depending on what the rehab is. And most of the time they're going to be asking $60,000, $70,000, so you're going to be off. The key to getting them at the right price is negotiation. That's where you're going to be able to get these properties correctly. It's just the proper negotiation, the proper follow-up, and the proper rapport with the seller really is what it is. So it's, to me, you don't find them at the right price, you get them at the right price.
Yeah.
Anything on that?
No, I mean everything you said, pretty much 100%. I would agree. Like you said, nothing comes in at the right price except for that one I got today that I went to go sign. That one was just like.
Oh, so this was meant to be. This question
This is
was
like a
meant to
home
be.
run, right? It's rare that it comes in where like the price that they're asking for is like exactly where you need to be. But
How did you get that one?
that one's actually a bandit signs, an old bandit sign that she called me off of my Google Voice number, and so it was just like, boom, out of nowhere I got a call, and I was like, okay, yeah, got asked everything I needed to ask about it, and the price. I told her the price point that I needed to be, and she was like, yeah, that works. We just want to get rid of it, and I was like, no negotiating, nothing. She just, yeah, that works. I was like, all right. super easy.
And he was getting tired of putting out bandit signs.
I
He was like,
I don't wanna
give me
do
some
it."
other leads. And he's like, well, now this lead came in. He's like, all right, so where's the bandit
We
signs at?
need more bandit signs. We need to order more bandit signs. And actually, one came in for me about a week and a half ago as well that she was asking the right price. The only problem was that something about taxes, she owed more than what the property was worth. It was crazy. She owed like $90,000 in taxes. How it even got that far, I don't know. But she was really only asking for like 50 grand off the property. And that's
Right.
with the ARV, the location, and what the rehab was based on our conversation. 50 would have been perfect, except like I said, she owed taxes. But I guess bandit signs would be the proper answer then, because we both got good leads off of bandit signs. So.
Well, okay, so to go back to what you were saying, to get the property at the right price, you hit it nail on the head, which is you need to be good at negotiating. None of these deals are just going to fall in your lap and just be at the perfect price points. You need to be able to negotiate properly with the seller and properly with the buyer. And really quick plug, if you go to our Hilco Homes Facebook page, we actually have a video course that outlines specifically all the little details of negotiation for a wholesaler, over 30 videos going over that topic that we have available for you if you're trying to improve your negotiation. But anyway, on top of what he was saying you needed to be able to negotiate, but you need to be able to negotiate with people that are willing to have a conversation with you. And those people that are willing to have the conversation with you are people that are motivated. And these are two types of people. First, they're either financially motivated, meaning they're about to be foreclosed on, they're behind on their payments, maybe they inherited the property and now they have the expenses of the mortgage that's on it, the taxes that are coming due, and they can't afford it. Maybe they don't have the money for the rehab, or the property itself is just distressed. It's got a hole in the roof, the foundation's going off, it's been going off for a while now, and it's just getting bad. So you need to be in communication or looking for people that are motivated in some capacity.
I actually had a seller who wasn't going to get foreclosed on. The property was in distress, but it wasn't really bothering them. The taxes weren't too expensive. They're splitting it up again between him and his brother, and it just wasn't as much of a burden to him. But his motivation was that he wanted to sell off the property to pay for his mother's hospital expenses. So it could be a motivation other than the property itself. They might want to sell because they need the money to do something else. So it might not be the property as a burden. It might not be that they're going to get foreclosed on or anything like that. But I use that to help bring down the price to where I needed it to, because they wanted a certain amount and we really needed to be about $8,000 or $10,000 less. And for it to make sense, because you want to help people, but you also want the deal to make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, then you kind of can't pay that extra money. Anyways, I used that as motivation. I said, hey, we can close quickly. We can get this done 2 to 4 weeks as soon as title clears. Because I already had a buyer lined up, and we can get this one knocked out, and you'll have your $20,000 in your pocket, so that way you can go ahead and take care of your mother and her hospital expenses. And they were more motivated to negotiate from 30 to 20 because they needed that money in order to pay for that. So it wasn't really the property, but it was their situation. So that's another form of motivation.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah, I started asking what's their reason for selling, but in a way to where you don't like offend them. And if you ask the right way, they'll tell you what the real reason that they want to sell is, and you can kind of use that to your advantage the right way. You know what I mean?
so that's how those are different tips and tricks to get these properties at the right price. They don't just fall into your lap. You have to get them there. You have to guide them to where you need them.
You have to caress them a little bit.
Finesse. It's my middle name, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
No, it's Antonio, but yeah, still.
Antonio, parentheses,
Juan
finesse.
Juan Antonio Finesse Bustos.
There you go.
Mr. Finesse.
All right, well, hit us with the next one.
Okay. The next question is, how do you compete in today's market where everything that hits the market is being sold? This question is actually coming from Facebook from Doc, REI Broker. So again, the question
What's up, Doc? Thank you for the question.
So again, the question is, how do you compete in today's market where everything that hits the market is being sold? Marco?
So, I'm assuming his name has REI Broker in it, so I'm assuming that he's talking about putting it on the market, MLS, with agents, selling it on the retail market. And it's true. In today's real estate climate, properties are selling faster and faster, and they're also selling at higher and higher prices, especially during the summer time frame. That's when the highest volume is being moved. And we're based in San Antonio, so San Antonio is always hitting new highs year in, year out. So it is. The truth is, it's prices are getting harder. So if you're trying to get deals at those low prices, is it hard? It can be hard. But the truth is, the way you compete is one of a few ways. Number one, look where other people are not looking. So from a retail space, all those people are dealing with agents. They're dealing with properties that have already been fixed up, that are ready to go on the market. You're looking for properties that need work, that need rehab, those type of things. And the way you also compete is you provide a different service than what they would get from the retail market. If they list it with an agent, then even if they find a buyer at a high price point, it's going to take them 30 to 45 days to close. They need to make sure that the property itself meets the standards of the lender, which is its own hurdle. And they have to be able to go through an inspection period with the buyer and have the buyer want to purchase it after that. And what we're doing here as wholesalers, typically we're looking for properties where the seller needs to sell quickly, they need to sell fast. We're willing to take on any property with any problems. What's the worst looking house y'all have dealt with?
The one I fell through the floor.
You fell through the floor?
Yeah, that big duplex over there on.
Oh yeah, I remember that one on Monterrey. Yeah,
I fell through the floor.
We went there. It was supposedly it was a fourplex. I remember that, and we had to drill. We had to pull the piece of plywood. We had to unscrew it, and we walked through, and a bunch of the floor was missing. I remember I didn't even want to walk through the whole thing. It was crazy.
You were like, I'll just stay over here. And Aaron's like, nah, I got it. I'll take the photos.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that. Aaron. I remember that.
But I've even seen. We even went to a house one time, and there was we walked in and you heard like little noise, and there was actually rats, dude, in the tub. I don't know if you remember. It was off a duet. There was some rats in the tub. On that one.
Oh yeah, those two they were right next to each other.
Yeah,
Right?
so I was like, there's some crazy houses.
Yeah, I've seen some bad ones. I've seen some ones with missing floors. I've seen some. The worst thing I hate looking at is like the distressed properties that have like the really nasty like toilets. Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. I'm like, oh man. You lift it up with your shoe and you're like, yep, that's disgusting. And I've seen some pretty bad ones. I've seen some ones where dead cats under the foundation. I'm not even joking. It's crazy. So
yeah, as far as the toilets, I've seen some where there were squatters in the house, and the toilets were full, so they were using the tub as the restroom. So it was filling up. So that obviously that tub had to go.
That's crazy. Yeah, that tub was not salvageable. So.
But yeah, so that's one way to compete is just look for the properties that can't really be sold easily on the retail market, and you can help those type of people. There's tons of people. There's always going to be people going through a divorce. There's always going to be people dying. There's always going to be people that are getting behind on their payments. You're trying to help those people, the people that have life situations that come up.
Also, to compete, really, to compete in today's market, you have to be, and this is going to sound funny saying it, you have to be competitive. You have to be diligent. You have to be on point with your follow-up. You have to be right there working all your leads. You don't just work the new leads that come through. You have to do your follow-up on the old leads that may or may not have been sold, that may be working. I just recently, just happened to me a couple weeks ago that I got a call from somebody who was, I had been following up with them for about 6-7 months, and they were at a certain price point. And then they called me up. They said, hey, I really need to sell. Time is of the essence. I need to get this sold by a certain time. I'll even drop to a lower price point. They didn't drop that much, but they knew that I was the one to contact when they were ready to sell because I had been following up with them. So if you stay diligent and you stay on point with your follow-up, those leads are gonna come through, and that's how you stay competitive, because a lot of the times these sellers will often sell to the first person that they talk to, despite the fact that they're talking to a lot of different people. And as long as you stay on that follow-up, even if somebody else offers them more, you're following up with them and you're asking when the close date is, and you're finding out as much information as you can so you can be there, almost like the rebound boyfriend, right? So you're almost like the rebound boyfriend, like, hey, that didn't work out. Guess who's still here? It's me. So stay diligent on your leads, stay diligent on your follow-ups, and you'll be able to...
So you're saying you can come out of the friend zone if you're diligent.
Oh man, the friend zone is a familiar place for me. So I've worked my way out a couple times.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely, you work your way out of the no sell zone or the friend zone, and you just stay following up, and you stay hitting them, and you stay calling them, and eventually some of them will come through. So that's how you stay competitive.
Cool.
Awesome.
Let's hit the next one.
Okay, so the next question is also coming to us from Facebook, from Mario Bashir. His question is, how do you market your deals to investors? Did you create a list?
And what I was saying is, yes, you do create a list. Basically, if you're just starting off, and I would use Facebook as a tool because Facebook is the fastest way to connect with everybody. But I would just post on there, hey, I'm a new wholesaler in town. I'm looking for cash buyers. Can you drop your email or your phone number? Or if you have a property and it's your first time trying to find a buyer, just post, hey, who buys in this zip code, or I have a property for sale. It's a 2-1. Can you post and just share it to a bunch of groups, and you'll be surprised how many people will respond to you. But not only that, you have to actually create an Excel sheet and save it yourself. That way you always have it on file, and you can continue to add to it.
You can actually put those leads, you can actually put those buyers into a giant list and put them into an email blast software. We mentioned earlier that we use the one called MailChimp. So you'll want to write that down. It's MailChimp, MAIL, and then Chimp, CHIMP. Yeah, we can probably put it there somewhere, but use MailChimp and it'll create an email blast. Like when you know how like when you get offers from Target, or as I like to call it, Target, because I'm fancy. Target, Walmart, all those where they're sending you all these offers via email. They use similar softwares. They probably use it on a bigger scale, but you input everybody on that email list. Create your email template, and then whenever you have a property, you put it together and you just blast it out to them, and you go one by one. After you've blasted it out, give it about 24 hours. You just start calling people. Hey, I sent you this, I sent you this, I sent you this. And you can go that route, to market to your investors.
Yeah, put it on Facebook. Do your email blasts. Go to networking events and take flyers with you. If you have other wholesalers, to reach out to those wholesalers. They might have the buyer for you. And just figure out how everyone's going to get paid. Just get the word out there. Facebook's a great tool. There's other avenues in that realm, but for us, we've been doing it for so long that now we have a substantial email list, which you'll build over time. We do an email blast. We might do multiple email blasts of a certain deal till it moves, and then you want to call, you want to text through every person in your contact, and then you're going to have people that raise their hand and say they're interested in the deal, and then from there you just start working them and get them into the house and go from there. So pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's pretty not hard to build your buyers list.
If Juan can do it,
I mean,
anybody can do it.
If I can do it, and I'm a little slow. I'm a lot of slow.
A lot of slow.
I'm a lot of slow. I'm a lot of bit slow. So, but yeah, there's tons of ways to do that. I guess we can move on to the next question.
This one's a fun question.
This one is.
We like it when you throw the fun questions at us. So throw us some fun questions.
Then you're really getting to know us.
That's right.
Yeah, throw us some personal questions. I mean, what's your favorite color and why? I mean, maybe a little more complex than that, right? But just throw us some fun questions. We like answering these because we get to have fun with them, and it's not always about real estate. This one actually happens to be about real estate. But they're not always about real estate. So just you can send us whatever questions you guys want to find out, so we can have fun with it. But this question specifically is, how did you learn about real estate? And I guess we'll start with Marco. All
right. So for me, what started this whole thing for me was in high school. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Now, most people know this book. If you don't know about this book, take some time. Go buy the book. Read it. It's an easy, quick read that'll go by very quickly. It's easy to digest. But in the book, he basically explains how to think about money, and how that applies to investing, and how that applies to business. And when I read that book, I learned the power of rental real estate, cash flow in general. And then from there on out, I told myself I wanted to be an investor, I wanted to be a businessman. And so from there, I just started digesting as many books as I could. I went to a bunch of seminars. I even went to Donald Trump seminars back in the day, Trump University.
Trump University.
Yeah, and went to a whole bunch of different seminars. And eventually I landed at a local seminar with a local company called Lifestyles Unlimited. What they were saying really made sense. And I signed up to be a member there, and then eventually I was like really annoying. I would basically send them all these spreadsheets of all these different properties of what I thought were deals, but I wasn't sure. And I was at their office all the time. I was going to all their events, and they said, well, why don't you become an agent and find deals for our investor clients, our members here? And so I thought that was a golden opportunity. And so I became an agent, and then I was starting to look for MLS deals and sending them to the investors, and then built from there.
Nice. Cool.
So Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Aaron?
Same thing. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I had
All
never even thought about. I don't know how I even thought about it, to be honest. I think my.
How'd you find out about Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
To be honest, it actually started with my brother texted me that he got his tickets to, because Dan Merrow, I don't know if you Dan Merrow. Anyways, he was on the radio. Dan Merrow was coming to do a seminar, so my brother got us 2 tickets to go. And when we went to the seminar, it was like an hour long or whatever. That was my first time ever discovering or even knowing what wholesaling is, because I didn't even know that word existed. I didn't even know what that word was. And then they mentioned to read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then so I just kind of picked up on it, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I just read through it. And after that, that's when I really got interested in real estate, and that's when I started adding like more people on Facebook that were in real estate and stuff like that. And then I would just saw more and more people doing it, and then I just went with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I got involved in it. Really, it was actually from my brother texting me to go to that thing, and now my brother doesn't. I mean, he knows what it is, but he knows exactly what I do, but he's like, nah, I'm not going to do it.
Hey, that happens a lot. So
Yeah.
That's awesome. So it connected with you, huh?
Yeah,
Very
pretty
cool.
much.
It happened.
I remember seeing, I was like, who's this Aaron guy over here? Friending everybody on Facebook.
Yeah,
That's funny. He was on the ball about it.
I was.
So, for me, it was the same thing. I also read Rich Dad Poor Dad. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we got to put that book somewhere. Maybe.
So y'all should definitely read Rich Dad Poor Dad if you haven't already read it.
It'll like switch your mindset.
It's a paradigm shift. Yeah, it'll just completely switch up your mindset. I was actually, nobody suggested it to me. Nobody anything. What had happened was
Listen to this guy. He's like, oh, nobody helped me. I just knew. I saw this book and it spoke to me.
Well, here's what happened was I was actually working I had just started working my first door-to-door sales job. I was a door-to-door salesman, and I went to the bookstore in my city at the time, which is Laredo, Texas, and I was just kind of looking around in the business section, and I was looking for books on how to improve my sales skills. Really was what it was. And I saw it, and I saw the purple cover, and I pulled it out, and I said, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I read the back, and I, kind of looked it up, and then I pulled out my phone, and I Googled it, and, I said, whatever, it's like $12. I think it cost me like $12. So I bought it, and I read it, and it was a complete mind shift for me. Now, he talks about real estate, he talks about stocks, he talks about business, he talks about a bunch of different ways, and and it's not really a guide on how to do real estate. It's more of a this is your mindset now, this is my mindset, and this is the difference between the two, and why I'm successful versus why you're not successful.
It's like the rich's mindset about money. It's basically what he describes. That's why it's called Rich Dad Poor Dad.
So I read it, and at the time I thought, well, maybe stock investing kind of seems like my thing. I really definitely want to change my life and turn it around. And I heard on the radio that they were going to give, a few months later I heard on the radio that they were going to give some seminar at a Rich Dad Poor Dad seminar. And the funny thing is I was so broke at the time that I took out a loan just to attend the seminar.
Dang, that's
I took out a loan just to attend the seminar, and it was a payday loan that I knew I probably wasn't going to be able to pay back at the time. And I said, no, but I need to go. And I even tried to regain some of that money because it was 2 tickets, and I invited a bunch of people. Nobody wanted to go with me. I ended up going by myself and paying for 2 tickets by myself. But so I went to the seminar. They held it. It was a weekend seminar. It was a 3-day seminar. It was in McAllen, Texas, and I spent the whole weekend there. And I remember the guy holding the seminar, the guy holding the training, said 97% of you guys will not do anything with the training that I give you. I said, no way, that's not going to be me. This was back in 2013, and I said, no way, I'm going to be the 3% that does something. And for the next 2 years, almost 3, I didn't do a darn thing. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything in real estate until I moved over here to San Antonio. Met Marco, and then I became annoying to Marco, just calling him all the time and saying,
very annoying,
extremely annoying. Hey, I don't get it. Why doesn't this work? And what if I do this? And what if I do that? And I was just calling him. I'm not even lying, not over exaggerating, maybe 10 times a day. You know, just trying to get a grasp on how this works and
There was a moment where I was like, how do I block a phone number?
No, and then if it went to
snooze.
voicemail, I'd probably call him from another number too, like, hey, how come you're, or I'd text him, but I became annoying to him, and I latched on, and I said, I want to learn, and I did literally whatever it took to get some deals through, and the rest is history. I just started popping deals left and right, and now I'm working on bigger, better things in real estate, so.
Awesome. So moral of the story is read Rich Dad Poor Dad. You'll appreciate it if you haven't read it before.
It'll definitely change your mindset.
So we just wrapped up episode 8. I think there were some solid questions. We had some people from Facebook, so we're always looking for more questions from you all. We want to answer your questions. We want to give you value. Is there a problem that you're having? Is there a situation? Explain it. Throw it at us. We'll tell you how we would handle it, give you our suggestions, and we want to answer your questions so that we can give you help in your life.
Yeah,
So
let us know. We're here to help. That's what we're doing this for, to help you guys out.
exactly. So go to Hilco Homes on Facebook. Make sure to like us so you can continuously get these videos. We put out tons of content. If you can like this video, comment on this video, share this video, we would really appreciate that. And then we will look for you on the next episode.
See y'all next time.
See y'all next time. Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Aaron Perez. I'm with Hilco Homes. I'm an acquisitions partner with Hilco Homes. Hilco Homes is actually a wholesaling company here in San Antonio. Our main goal is to become a national wholesaling company, but not just national, a national wholesaling company for apartment complexes. That's what our end goal is, and for everybody on the team to become an investor and to have our own portfolio with our own investments. Doing this video because we're looking to hire some people, and the reason I'm doing this video is because when I was doing it by myself, I was actually kind of lost. I was at HEB for 12 years, and then I just basically quit my job, and I was trying to do the wholesale thing on my own, and I was lost. I was trying to keep busy, but I only knew one way of keeping busy. I didn't know all these other things that I could be doing to generate more leads or to generate more buyers, and so I was kind of lost. And so Marco kept on reaching out to me and kept wanting me to join this team, and I kept telling him no, I didn't want to, because I'm sure like a lot of you guys out there, you want to do your own thing, right? You just want to have your own thing going on. Well, Marco was very persistent in getting me to join, and I finally sat down with them, talked with them, and I liked everything that Marco had said. I liked his vision for the company, and his vision was about the same as my vision, to help other people and to help other people grow. And in order to help other people grow, I have to help myself, right? So I have to help myself grow so that I can teach other people. And so now that I've joined Hilco, it was the best decision because I'm with a group of individuals who have a lot of knowledge, and I'm not having to pay $10,000 or $20,000 to go to these seminars. With Hilco, there's a lot of knowledge that's there, and knowledge is powerful, and I'm with some great people, and I've learned a lot just joining Hilco. The biggest thing you need to understand is that you're not working for anybody. Guys, this is a team. We're with a team. And so yes, I'm with the team, and I don't feel like I have a boss, because I don't. I'm with a team, I have a team, and so I still feel like that I'm getting to where I need to get to because of their knowledge and their help. So with that being said, guys, if you're interested in real estate, you're interested in wholesaling, and you're passionate about doing it, and you're not afraid of rejection, you're not afraid of giving up, we're looking for individuals right now. We're hiring, we're looking for some people. So, like us on Facebook at Hilco Homes Facebook page, send us a message. You can send me a personal message, and we'll reach out to who we need to reach out to see about getting you an interview. Thanks, guys.